Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin with the BRICS summit happening currently in Brazil, where Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has called for a re-evaluation of the current global governance structure and the financial and healthcare systems, urging greater equity and inclusion for low-income and emerging economies, particularly in Africa. At the 17th meeting of the Global South and the Emerging Economies Bloc, BRICS, in Rio de Janeiro, the president stated that environmental degradation, the climate crisis, and healthcare inequalities should receive more attention as they contribute to slowing growth and development. President Tinubu stated that Nigeria supports the BRICS position on the need to focus on collective, fair, and equitable global development. He noted that environmental degradation, climate crisis, and global healthcare inequalities are shared concerns pertinent to the African continent. President Tinubu also emphasized the need for a new path of justice anchored in fairness, sustainable technology transfer, and accessible financing so that emerging economies can fully benefit from various initiatives.
The African continent is creating the path through the African Carbon Market Initiative and Great Green Wall. We believe that eventually COP30 will strengthen our resolve to strategically embrace a healthy global environment. Therefore, we believe Nigeria remains guided by our long-term vision 2050 and nationally determined contribution. We are taking bold steps to accelerate renewable energy adoption, mainstream climate action, promote nature-based solutions, strengthen urban resilience, champion South-South cooperation, align with global renewal framework, achieving unilateral healthcare coverage for all.
On Nigeria's participation in the BRICS meeting, despite being a partner country without voting rights, is a positive development that could deepen relations with BRICS countries. This was stated by former Nigerian ambassador to Burundi, Ambassador Elijah Onyagba, during our Foreign Affairs Program Diplomatic Channel. He says President Bola Tinubu has been actively promoting agriculture at the ongoing BRICS summit in Brazil.
I've seen a picture of a meeting going on, a bilateral meeting with President Lula and some of his ministers as well as governors there. Where I've also read where the president was talking about removing every bottleneck with respect to agricultural investment in agriculture. He's been at the forefront of promoting agriculture. Yes, Nigeria is a partner country, I think from June last year, but not yet a full member. I think at this point in time, Nigeria as a partner country is allowed to attend certain meetings, but I do not think that we have voting rights. But clearly, we are allowed to attend certain meetings. We are allowed to be part of certain technical sessions, which is always very good because there you find opportunities of deepening bilateral relations. You find, in fact, at this point in time, quite a lot of countries that are member of BRICS nation, BRICS at this point in time are countries that Nigeria have got interest in, and Nigerians have. Nigeria has already been relating with at so many fronts. Talk about Russia, China, India, South Africa, a lot of other countries like Saudi Arabia have joined, United Arab Emirates. I think Turkey is also another associate partner state as well. So these meetings on the sidelines also offers the president opportunities for bilateral talks and deepening bilateral relations. But of course, the concern that you raised in your previous question remains, because one thing is to sign agreements. Usually, presidents don't implement agreements. Agreements are implemented by those that are charged with the responsibility of implementing them. In this case, people have to also sit back and ensure that those agreements are followed through, and some of the commitments that are made are now realized. And that's where the responsibilities of ambassadors and, of course, certain other ministry heads and all of that now have to work together to ensure that those agreements are implemented. But it's a good thing, in my opinion, that Nigeria is once again attending the BRICS meeting. One meeting has already been broadcast, and I'm sure that between now and the next 2 days, when the meeting meeting is taking place, there will also be other feedback that we'll get from the presidency. But we've already seen the president constantly and once again marketing his agricultural policy and calling for agricultural investments to ensure that Nigeria has got food security. That's what I can say, with respect to that BRICS meeting. But we'll await further briefing. I'm sure between today and tomorrow there will be further sessions, and we'll be able to understand to what extent we are going to benefit from that presidential.
You can watch more of Ambassador Onyagba's thoughts on Diplomatic Channel. It airs tonight at 8:30 on Sky 515 in the UK and 11:30 on DSTV 420, or you can catch it on the playlist on Channels Television on YouTube. Well, the BRICS summit began on Sunday with Brazil's President Lula welcoming several member country leaders. Well, here's more on stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
Brazil welcomed several African leaders to Rio de Janeiro as the 17th annual BRICS summit kicked off on Sunday. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva greeted Angolan President João Lourenço, Ugandan Vice President Jessica Epo Alupo, and Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu upon their arrival to the venue. Also in attendance at the two-day summit is South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli.
We firmly believe that building economic...
The 17th BRICS Summit, Strengthening Global South Cooperation for More Inclusive and Sustainable Governance, takes place in Rio de Janeiro from July 6 to 7. It unites leaders and representatives from member states, partner nations, and key organizations. The BRICS group, originally Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, expanded in 2023 with Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE all invited to join, and then Indonesia as the newest member. Partner nation status was introduced at the 2024 summit in Kazan. A funeral procession for Albert Ojwang, the Kenyan blogger who died in police custody in June, was held in Homa Bay County after weeks of public unrest over the 31-year-old's death. Family and friends of Ojwang carried his casket during the procession, chanting and holding his portrait before laying him to rest at the burial site. Young people attended the funeral to pay tribute to Ojwang. Activists and representatives of the authorities, meanwhile, condemned the violent conduct of law enforcement and hit out at the government.
We are demanding that the mastermind of Ojwang's death, who is the deputy IG of police, must be arrested and must be prosecuted. And we are demanding an end to police brutality. And our message is very clear, that the issues that the young people are talking about cannot be dealt with through police brutality. That the president must come out and speak with the young people and lead with fairness and justice.
Prior to Ojwang's funeral, dozens of enraged mourners also set the Mowego police station in Homa Bay ablaze last week to express their outrage at the authorities. Ojwang was reportedly arrested at his rural home and transported to Central Police Station in Nairobi, where he allegedly died as a result of brutality while in police custody. Residents of Oasis Farm settlement in South Africa are battling to rebuild their community after heavy downpours flooded homes, damaged roads, destroyed makeshift shelters in the area, and forced thousands to evacuate. On Sunday, locals navigated through muddy streets and flooded residential areas as children lined up near a truck from the NGO Gift of the Givers, which arrived to provide emergency relief, including food boxes and other essentials. Over the weekend, they distributed more than 10,000 meals, blankets, and personal hygiene packs.
Political pressure is mounting on South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to take a decision amid mounting allegations of large-scale corruption against the country's police minister, Senzo Mchunu. The controversy follows a media briefing on Sunday where KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nala Mkhwanazi accused Minister Mchunu of being entangled in a powerful syndicate, allegedly linked to drug cartels and business figures involved in organized crime. Political parties are now calling on President Ramaphosa to dismiss Mr. Mchunu.
I, as a provincial commissioner, took a decision to deploy 10 members from this political killings task team to go and support this organized crime unit in Gauteng. I can tell South Africans that this decision was a cause for the disbandment letter of this team because they overstepped their mandate of only focusing in KZN. They went to support Gauteng organized crime unit with the dismantling of a criminal syndicate. And I can confirm before the South Africans today that the investigation which these members were involved with in Gauteng has unmasked the syndicate. And this syndicate involves, amongst others, politicians who are currently serving in Parliament. The law enforcement officers include the members of the South African Police Service, the Metro Police, and correctional services. They include prosecutors in Gauteng province, the judiciary, and all these are controlled by the drug cartel as well as business people in that province of Gauteng.
Humanitarian organizations are sounding the alarm over attacks on healthcare facilities in Sudan, warning that 70% of them are closed or barely operational. In a new report entitled Besieged, Attacked and Starved, Medicine Sans Frontiers, MSF, or Doctors Without Borders, say that access to healthcare is nearly impossible due to systematic attacks, while the remaining operational facilities are under constant threat. Another organization, Save the Children, echo these concerns, saying that attacks on hospitals tripled in the first half of this year, with more than 900 people killed while seeking health care or accompanying someone to the hospital. Or many facilities, clinics, ambulances and medical convoys have all seen fatal attacks in the country where half of the population requires humanitarian assistance. Let's discuss this further. The war in Sudan. Mo Sani Aliyu, Channels TV's Sahel correspondent, joins us now for more on this. Hello, Mo. Thank you for your time. You've lived and reported in Sudan for years. Paint us a picture, of what life is like for ordinary Sudanese today amidst this ongoing conflict.
That life for the ordinary Sudanese citizen right now is very dire. There are actually several factors that bother the ordinary Sudanese citizen, but the most important ones are insecurity. It has spawned a lot of other issues, including the lack of healthcare facilities, because right now, only 1% of all the hospitals in Sudan are operating. So the Sudanese citizen is facing hunger, starvation, the lack of medicines, and continuing insecurity. For the last 2 years, the country has been at war with itself. The RSF, that is the, these are the people that we call the Rapid Support Forces under General Habibti, have been fighting the Sudanese armed forces across the country. Initially, it was only in the west and central part of Sudan. Right now, it is now spread to the eastern part of the country, and every part of Sudan right now, including the central part and Darfur in the west, is under occupation, either by the military or by the Sudanese Rapid Support Forces. So the ordinary Sudanese citizen is not finding it easy. There are no medicines, no food, nothing for the ordinary citizen to look forward to on a daily basis. It's a very, very important point to note that it's a very difficult situation these people are living in. My sources inside Sudan today told me that in Fashir, which is the largest city in Darfur, more than 100 people have died over the past 1 week, simply because there was no food, or they could not get enough medicines into the country or into that part of Sudan to treat basic medical situations like malaria, like typhoid, and injuries sustained from gunshot wounds and bomb blasts.
It's a very dire situation, we're seeing, and you've also made mention the widespread displacement, starvation, lack of medicines and all. But Mo, what is really, fueling the persistence of this war? It's been ongoing for over 2 years now.
Can't hear you.
I'm asking what really is fueling the conflict, the persistence of this war in Sudan. We've seen the war go on for over 2 years. It appears Mo is having some difficulties hearing us, but let's just move on to other stories. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda is defending the Qatar and U.S. brokered deal, the peace agreement that was between his country, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, while criticizing the international community for prioritizing economic interest over lasting peace in the Great Lakes region. Well, during an address to reporters, the Rwandan president questioned previous U.S. efforts made to solve the DRC M23 conflict, suggesting international bodies were seeking a personal advantage in the mediation. President Kagame also praised the U.S. For introducing a new way of approaching the conflict, while stressing that the ultimate responsibility for implementing the deal rests with Rwanda and DRC. On June 27, both countries signed a landmark U.S. and Qatari brokered peace agreement in Washington, D.C., putting an end to years of conflict between the two neighboring countries. Well, this agreement sets a 90-day deadline for a regional economic plan, 30 days for a joint security mechanism, and 3 months for the withdrawal of Rwandan troops from Congolese territory. The European Union ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Hote Mino, has been speaking about the European Union's intervention in the nation's educational sector. The EU ambassador was speaking at a pre-departure meeting for scholars of the Erasmus Plus scholarship in Abuja. He explains that the intervention, which covers basic, tertiary and post-tertiary education, offers opportunities for Nigerians and forms part of its strategy for partnership between Nigeria and the European Union.
Members of the diplomatic corps and government officials are converging on this hall to give a pre-departure orientation to over 100 young Nigerians who have just earned scholarships under the European Union Erasmus Plus scholarship for the year 2025.
Thank you.
The European Union Erasmus Plus program offers postgraduate scholarships to Nigerian students for studies in Europe. These scholarships are awarded for master's and doctoral degrees. Nigeria is a prominent recipient of these scholarships, often ranking highly in Africa and globally. The scheme aims to support mobility and capacity building within higher education.
The European Union continues to invest in education in Nigeria, not just through Erasmus, but also through initiatives supporting basic education, girls' education, and educational access in areas affected by insecurity, particularly in the Northwest. And this is why education and research are part and parcel of a global gateway strategy. Today's orientation will prepare you for the life-changing journey ahead as students, but more importantly as ambassadors. You will represent Nigeria across Europe. And when you return, we hope you will carry the spirit of Erasmus with you to become ambassadors for Europe right here at home.
Over 730 Nigerians have benefited from the scholarship since 2024. In 2022 alone, over 200 Nigerians have received the scholarship. Nigeria is the second country globally with the most awardees of the scholarship. In Africa, Nigeria remains the top beneficiary for the 6th year. This year, at least 140 young Nigerians are benefiting from the scheme.
I'm particularly interested in an area which is not very common here in Nigeria. That's the effect of microplastics. And so getting the opportunities to actually learn and different, internship opportunities is something I look forward to experience. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I really want to thank the Erasmus Plus. I really want to thank them for this platform that they gave me to actually, pursue my dream.
You are not just supporting individual scholars. You are investing in the future of our societies and empowering us to become change makers of tomorrow. To my fellow scholars, I say this. Let's make the most of this opportunity. Let's not only gain knowledge, but build networks, share ideas, and collaborate across borders. Let's become global citizens who give back, who lift others as we rise.
The program will run for 12 to 14 months, with each beneficiary studying in at least 3 different universities in Europe. The pre-departure orientation aims at providing the recipients with hands-on tips on how to make the best of the immense opportunities inherent in the prestigious scholarship, and these beneficiaries are charged to be good ambassadors.
That you are ambassadors of Nigeria and the institutions that you represent. Your academic performance and good conduct can serve to open doors for others and create a positive image for building a long-lasting relationship between your institution and your host. You must look beyond yourself and see the full potential of this unique opportunity by demonstrating that never say die, that ingenuity and brightness that typify the Nigerian spirit. And as we expect upon your return, the measure of your success will be determined by the quality of service to be rendered to your society and the paths that you're able to chart for yourself.
You're about to embark on a journey that will equip you with world-class education, expose you to diverse perspectives, and broaden your vision of what is possible, not only for yourselves, but for our nation.
On Sunday, Nigeria began their bid for another CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations title with a dominant 3-0 win over Tunisia in Group B at the Stade Labi Zaouli in Casablanca, Morocco. After the match, Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie says she is confident the team can win a 10th title in Morocco following the win. Nnadozie, who wasn't troubled all through the game, says it was a very relaxed game for her and the team intends to take every game seriously while focusing on the mission of reclaiming the title they last won in 2018.
I feel so good. It was a good one. It was a good beginning for us. Tunisia, they are not a bad side. We respect them so much, and as you can see, they played a very good game. Just that today was for us, and we hope to continue like this. Yeah, there was no much to do behind, but yeah, it's always good to stay concentrated because you never know what will happen. Yeah. There are so many good teams in this AFCON, and we don't know for now. We just have to take one game per game. We don't need to rush. We don't need to think ahead. So we focus on our next game. But I hope if we continue like this, we played a very good game today. And if we continue like this, yeah, hopefully the Mission X will be valid. To be honest with you, they were good. They kept the ball. They were confident. They have good wingers, and yeah, they're a very good team. I think in the nearest future, they'll be competing at the highest level.
That's it on the program for today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.